The John Morris Show, episode 100.
In this episode, a thank you and a story.
The John Morris Show. Your life on code. Ladies and gentlemen, John Morris.
Hey everybody, welcome back to the John Morris Show, johnmorrisonline.com. So today marks episode number 100 of the podcast, which is frankly a little crazy to me. But since it's a special occasion and all, I wanted to take a moment and reflect, and most importantly, if you get nothing out of this, thank you. Because I still find it pretty crazy that tens of thousands of people take the time to listen to what I have to say on a daily basis. It really is pretty mind-boggling to me. But I really wanted to let you know how much all the supportive comments and chats and hell, even the debates and the hate mail mean to me. So, to do that, I want to tell you a quick story. On September 5th, 1989, my dad, my little brother, and I were in a pretty bad car accident. It was a foggy day, you couldn't see more than a handful of feet in front of you, and my dad was driving us to school like he had always done. And we came to what was called the OPPD highway where I grew up, which was basically the highway that leads out to the power plant where a good number of people in that area happen to work. And so, being foggy, we sat at this intersection for a while trying to get a read on whether there was incoming traffic because we couldn't see that well. And I remember specifically my dad asking, "Hey John, do you see anything?" And I replied, "No." And after that, off we went across the highway. Well, turns out there was a car coming, about 65 miles an hour, and it slammed into the side of our little S10 pickup as we crossed the road. We flew about 30 feet in the air, spun 180 degrees, and smashed into a telephone pole. The truck then slammed to the ground, and all of us flew out because we weren't wearing seatbelts. Now, as that happened, I was inches from death twice. The car had struck just behind the passenger side door where I was sitting, like I said, with no seatbelt. And when we hit the pole, we hit just in front of the passenger side door where I was sitting. And afterwards, the police had said that an inch or two closer in towards the door on either one of those hits, and I would have died instantly because it would have crushed the door. But as it happened, my dad actually got it the worst because my brother and I broke some bones, but we ended up being fine. My dad, on the other hand, he chipped a piece of his spinal cord and would end up being a paraplegic for the rest of his life. And from that day forward, my family's life was fundamentally changed. My dad at the time was the owner of a very successful $3 million per year plumbing business, as the story I know goes. And my mom was a housewife taking care of us 6 boys. Well, suddenly that day, my dad lost everything, and my mom was thrust into being our sole provider. Now, I'd be lying if I said things didn't get rough at times. There were even times where my brothers and I went days without eating. Never had anything nice, never got anything I wanted, and I had to scratch and claw and fight for every inch of prosperity that I've achieved since then. Now, as I always say, I don't tell you this to make you feel sorry for me. That's not the point. The reason I say it is for 2 reasons. One is I want to let you know that I understand. All the messages that I get on a daily basis from people laying their heart out to me about their situation, while I can't always help, I always understand where you're coming from. Believe me. And my single piece of advice to you is to keep fighting. But the second reason, which is why I bring it up today, is to tell you thank you. Because I doubt anybody I grew up with would have ever guessed that a dirty little trailer park rat like me would have so many people who care what I have to say. And any ounce of pride that I get from that, all of that, and I mean this sincerely, all of that comes back to you. The attention you give me, the interest, the encouragement, hell, even the people who hate my guts and tell me so, I never would have imagined back then that this many people would actually care. So now, understanding my story and where I'm coming from and came from, thank you. And I look forward to 100 more episodes. Now, if you'd like to help me keep it going, consider becoming a supporting listener at johnmorrisonline.com/Patreon. And if you didn't hear it the first few times, like I said, thank you, and I'll talk to you next time.